Hello and welcome to the first ClevelandDTR.com vlog. That is video blog. I'm Zach Benzik.
I'm Eric of
And we're going to start off talking about the Cavs and the NBA draft. Cleveland Cavaliers this year, 4th overall pick. Who should we take?
All right, I'm going to start off right off the bat, a little unconventional, and go Thomas Robinson. A lot of people don't really like it because Robinson plays the 4, same position as Tristan Thompson, who we drafted last year, had a good year. And, you know, Andy really plays the 4 too. He's just kind of playing out of position at the 5.
Agree with that.
But to me, it comes down to this. I'm taking Robinson because I think Robinson is heads and tails the second best player in the draft. And that's me personally. Like, a lot of people have him, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, wherever. But I think Robinson is the second best player. And it comes down to me 2 reasons. One, I'm going just straight character. Robinson's a great guy. You know, he's a guy, great work ethic, worked his way up from basically a bench player freshman year to junior year, All-American, you know, averages 18 points, 12 rebounds, great stats, great defense too with the rebounds. And second, I think he's just the best pure scorer in this draft. I would say even probably better than Davis.
I would agree with that, actually.
I think Robinson is a guy, you know, you give him the ball, like he's athletic, he can create his own shot, he's great around the rim, he's explosive. He kind of reminds me of actually like a Yon Amare. So I'm going Robinson, and you know, a lot of people I'm sure will say, well, what are you going to do because you got Tristan? But
I agree with a lot of stuff you said, but I'm going to go back to having Tristan. I give Robinson credit for putting up his time in Kansas. He overcame tragedy. He's a first-team All-American. He got his team to the national championship game. He was by far and away the leader of that team, and he did that all by working hard. So I give him credit for all that, but at the end of the day, I look at our team, and I'm telling you right now, we have Tristan Thompson, we have Andy. And believe it or not, some of you may not know this, Tristan Thompson's younger than Robinson.
right.
He's younger. Give him more time. You've got to give him another year. I don't see how you can draft Robinson and just give him Tristan after that year.
Here's my deal. I like Tristan. I do.
Okay.
You know, he's.
And you want to give him the curve right now.
Well, okay. Thompson is a guy. He's good around the rim. Like that's about the limit to his offensive game.
What does Andy do?
He could develop. Andy's defense. I mean, come on. Andy is the heart and the core of the team.
You have 2 guys 5 feet from the hoop.
But anyway, here's my point. I think you're right. Like if you draft Robinson, I think you gotta probably move one of Andy or Tristan.
I like that idea a lot better.
And I think you could draft Robinson. You could package Tristan with the Lakers pick. Like Tristan has to have a lot of value right now. I think you can get some good stuff. And anyways, I do like Tristan, but I think Robinson to me is the second best player. And if he's there at 4, I take him. But
let me talk to this.
Yeah, let's go to
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah,
played for UNC 2 years, came back. His numbers went up. Shooting percentage went up. I know people say, oh, maybe he didn't put his best effort every game, or maybe he's not athletic enough in the NBA to play a good 2 or 3. But listen, he can shoot the ball, and I feel like we can get him some open shots. If he can just hit 1 or 2 threes a game and hit a couple open jumpers, average 10, 12 points, it'll open up the floor for Thompson. It'll get Kyrie more room. It'll be better for everybody involved. And I think this type of guy that we need now, I will say I think 4 would be too high for him.
yeah.
But for what we need, I'm looking at what the Cavs need, what we have, what we need. That's what I'm going with.
All right, let me say this.
Give it to me.
I disagree. I still like Barnes. Let me say this. So we haven't said this, but okay. So Davis is going to go number 1 overall.
Agreed.
But 2, 3, 4, they're all pretty wide open. I mean, there's no real consensus spots here. So Robinson might not be there. Barnes might not be there.
True.
Well, I'm okay with Barnes, actually. I mean, I'll disagree with you on this point. Like, I think he's a good scorer. Like, we obviously need a wingman. But here's the deal with Barnes. I don't think he's as good of a scorer as people thought he was coming into UNC because he's not as athletic as people thought he was. Like, he can hit a 20-foot pull-up. He can hit, he's a good set shooter. But you give him the ball with a minute to go in a playoff game and say, create your own shot.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know if he can do it.
Listen,
so
if he gets in that spot, I'll be happy.
But okay. I mean, so yeah, I'm okay with Barnes. Good scorer, but ideally, I think he just needs someone else who could create his own shot besides Kyrie.
Anybody else? And their sleeper.
Well, let's go. I wouldn't mind Bradley Beal, and that's a good way to transition into our next topic, which is basically our overrated players in the draft. So
I have Beal on my overrated list, and you said you wouldn't mind him for the Cavs. Why do you like Beal?
Why don't you start off? Why don't you just say why you think he's overrated?
Very easy. Okay, he's 6'3". I know he played opposition at Florida. The only thing I loved about him is he got 6 rebounds a game. Great for a 6'3" guard. Sometimes he played the 3 a little bit out of position. Okay, but out of high school, he came into Florida. He's supposed to be the best shooter. He can shoot out of anywhere. With the college line, the shorter college line, he's a 34% shooter behind the arc.
Right.
He's 6'3". Who's he going to guard? You put him at the 2 with Kyrie, who's he going to guard? I don't think you could spend another 4 pick on a backup point guard.
He's not backup point. I mean, I agree.
So what are you going to do? Who's he going to guard?
Those are all good points.
Well, if he can't shoot this year in college, he's going to have 6'4", 6'5" guys guarding him.
Here's my deal. I'm almost Beal by default. Like, great points about like the 3-point percentage and his height, and
But hey, he can't rebound. I gave you that.
I like that. But
He can rebound the
people
ball.
do say, one thing I don't like, everyone says, Ray Allen, like he's like Ray Allen, but Ray Allen doesn't shoot 34% from the three-point line.
In college.
Especially in college, yeah.
Thank you.
So, but I mean, Beal and Barnes are kind of similar to me in that we do really need a wingman. So if, I'm okay with either, even though I don't love either.
I mean, someone who can shoot, correct. Now, who else do you have on your list for
all right, so
underrated?
I'm going most overrated.
Overrated.
I'm going Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. And again, it goes back to being able to score, like just create your own shot. And I like Kidd-Gilchrist. Like, I like him as maybe like an 8, number 8 pick, number 10 pick. But people having him number 2 overall prospect, number 3, I don't get it because he's good on defense. Like, he's versatile. He can guard the 2, guard the 3, guard the 4. He's not bad offensively. He's just not good, and that's my issue with him. He can't create his own shot. He's not a great jump shooter. Like, he's just athletic, and he's got a lot of character.
The only thing I would say is Kentucky won the national championship. They probably had the most talented team in the country. Did we get to see what he could really do every possession, or did sometimes he get favored by other players?
No, I mean, come on. You can tell within a course of a season if a player has offensive skills. Like, he could develop a better, mid-range game, jump shot. But he's just, I like him. I don't get people throwing him out there as a number 2, number 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw out one more name for overrated too. I think we can both at least kind of agree on this, and it's Andre Drummond.
I really agree with
Kentucky or Connecticut. Big guy. Here's my deal. I'll just summarize Drummond real quick, and we can move on to our most underrated guys. But Drummond to me, every time I saw Connecticut play, Drummond was hyped all year and top 5 pick all year. Every time I saw Connecticut play, never once did he stand out to me. Not once. I had to honestly try to find him on the screen.
I think, I could be wrong, but I think in the Big East he only averaged like 8 or 9 rebounds a game.
He averaged 10 points, 7 rebounds.
10 points, 7 rebounds. In the Big East, I know the Big East is a tough conference and there's guys hitting down low, but listen, if you're going to be a top 5 pick, you need more than 7 rebounds. He's a center, he's a big body.
Right.
I will say, people supposedly watch it, they write about it all the time, they say they've seen greatness out of him, but he doesn't bring it every single night. If he's not bringing it every single night in college, why is he going to do it at the next level? How is he able to just turn that switch on? He's not that good where he can do that.
I agree.
And I kind of agree with that. I wouldn't mind seeing him go a little bit lower if he falls some, but all this top 5 hype and top 5 pick, no way.
Yeah,
I completely agree with that. Good point. Let's move on to underrated. Who is the most underrated player? I'm going to start by saying it's Terrence Jones.
I like it.
Okay. Came out all these after the season. Everyone's had him pretty low on this. I think he's slowly moving up. But listen, he's 6'9". He's versatile. I think he's a sophomore this year, maybe about 20 years old,
right.
12-7, decent numbers, okay? But listen, at that height with his athletic ability, he can probably guard a 3 or a 4 if he needs to.
Right.
Develop an outside shot a little bit. He can do something.
No, I agree. I mean, to me, he's very similar to Kidd-Gilchrist, and not just the fact that they both played on Kentucky, but they're tall, they got length, I'll say raw offensive game, not limited, but, developing offensive game, but great on defense. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, I would take Terrence Jones at 12, 13 over Kidd-Gilchrist at 2 or 3 any day of the week.
And the other thing, too, is don't forget, these guys are all young, though. Kentucky, all freshmen and sophomores that are coming out, I mean, it's incredible. They need time to develop. They don't develop what they used to.
Right. And Jones is a guy who's seen his stock all over the place. I mean, I've seen him as low as, late teens, 20, and I've seen him, I think, creeping into the top 10 now. So it'll be interesting to follow him and see if he's still...
at these drafts, at these camps, these opportunities.
Right. He might not be underrated anymore. But, all right, so my guy for most underrated, I'm going to go Jared Sullinger of Ohio State. Not a Buckeye homer. I'm not even an Ohio State fan.
That is true. That. I don't believe that. He is not a Buckeye fan.
So let me just say this. I think Sullinger is a guy, he'll probably get you 2 career All-Star appearances or so. He's not a game changer. But I think he's a guy that, for his career, will average 12 and 8 or so. I mean, he'll give you the effort, and he'll give you the points. Like, he's got a developing shot, mid-range game. He's decent in the post, like a little undersized, but I think he's just a high floor guy. He's gonna be a good player in the league for about 10 years.
I hope you're right. I really, really, really hope you're right. I just don't know. I thought if anything this year kind of went backwards a little bit. Everything came out his freshman year, all this great stuff, and then this year kind of over the place. He got hurt a little bit. He plays below the rim for the most part, and I think this would be the biggest problem in the NBA unless he develops superior moves. The last person I remember that ever went in the first round high and played below the rim would have been like Tim Duncan.
Right.
And he had moves beyond this world.
Well, here's who I'm comparing to. I think he reminds me a lot of David West and Carlos Boozer. Boozer's better in the post, but Sullinger isn't bad. He doesn't have a bad post game. It's just not his forte. You know what I mean? His strength is probably the mid-range game, but he's got a pretty solid overall offensive game. And I think, that he can be a guy that's just going to have a lengthy career. Not going to do anything particularly great, but he's a guy going to give you max effort, and I'm telling you, he'll probably average 12-8 on a career.
And if he does that, develops his outside shot even more, and he can do that, is great. But my only question would be then is, where do you see him going in the draft? Would be underrated, would be overrated? What pick
That's
should
the
be
thing.
around? I mean, I would agree with if
Since
what
he's
you
such
said
a
is true.
safe
I would
pick-
say middle around.
No, I mean, okay. I'm gonna throw him probably top 10.
Oh,
But
I don't
I'll
see
take him
that.
before Andre Drummond any day of the week because Drummond is all hype, all
yeah,
potential.
but you got to draft the potential. You know what you're getting with Solo. He can't get that much better.
But that's what I'm saying is you know what you're getting with Sancho. You're getting a solid guy, and if I'm
So maybe he would fit on a better team. But on one of these elite
True.
teams that needs somebody who's going in the top 10 for the most part, what's he gonna do?
I mean, okay, but I'm going with the guy with the high floor that I know is going to give me a pretty solid career.
Awesome.
But we'll agree to disagree on that point.
Listen, thank you for joining us. This is our first vlog. Push us out for more articles later.
Right. So thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you like it and we can do more of these.